Do you get really angry when people tell you to relax? Does it feel like they're telling you to jump 10 feet into the air or fly or read a language that you've never learned? Does it take you back to your school days when you're struggling with something that you just don't know how to do, even though other kids apparently can do it easily? So if so, this video is for you. It's no use at all telling someone to relax if you don't also tell them how. How do you expect them to relax? Now, animals, if you ever watch a dog or a cat or any animal, they naturally know how to relax. Obviously, they've got nothing buzzing around in their brain that's preventing them from relaxing. Unless they're in a situation that is actually dangerous, in the presence of a predator, for instance, in which case, of course, they should not relax, and nor should you or I. There's many situations where it is safe and appropriate to relax, but we still don't know how to do it, because we've just got into the way of being on a level of high alertness and overthinking and physical tension, that tension that is preparing our body for immediate fight or flight. Okay, and we're in that kind of state of mind and body for in many people for much of their waking life, and that is why they can't relax. So how to relax? How do I teach people when I see people face to face in my practice? How do I teach them to relax? The first thing I do is I try not to use the word relax or relaxation, because it has bad associations. It annoys people because they know that they want to relax and that they should relax, but they also know that they can't do it. So, and also relax, what does it mean? What does it really mean? So instead of telling you to relax, I'm going to break down the process of relaxing into components, into things which you can do. And even if you say, oh, I can't relax and I've never relaxed in my life, I'm going to give you 3 things that you definitely can do, okay? And those 3 things together will enable you to feel what people feel when they are very comfortable and relaxed, to experience that feeling. So the first thing you need to do is breathe. And the great thing is that you're already breathing. Okay? I don't need to say start breathing now or start breathing when I count to 10. You're already breathing, obviously. You're breathing all the time, even when you're fast asleep. You're still breathing. Breathing is an automatic process. But unlike many of the other automatic processes of our body, like our heartbeat or our digestion or whatever, we can to some extent control our breathing. We can modify it. We can't just decide to stop breathing altogether, okay? But we can moderate our breathing. We can moderate the speed, and we can moderate the depth. Okay. So to begin with, just feel your own breathing. Just notice how you're breathing. And you can do it with me now if you wish, or you could just listen and then try it yourself afterwards. Just feel your own breathing to begin with. Don't try to breathe in any special way. You might have been taught by people who are trying to help you special complicated ways of breathing that involve counting, like, breathe in for 4 and then hold your breath for 15 and then breathe out for 8, and for example. That's a form of yogic breathing. And it's great if you were advanced to that kind of practice, but it needs a lot of practice, and it's not something that comes naturally to anybody. So at this point, I'm going to say, don't be counting, don't be trying to do anything much different to what you were already doing. Just breathe and feel your own breathing. When I say feel your breathing, feel the air itself. This might be something that you never really think about, because you're breathing air all the time. What else would you breathe? But as you feel the air, you can notice that the air that you breathe in is slightly cooler than the air that you breathe out. And you can notice where you're feeling that difference, the warmth and the coolness. Cool as you breathe in and warm as you breathe out. And you might feel it more at the edges of your nostrils or further back into your nose or throat. Just take a while just tuning into that sensation. And you absolutely can feel it, because you do have nerves in your nose and in your throat and in your lips that will feel that sensation. And the next thing to notice is what your body's actually doing when you breathe. Because you've got muscles that you breathe with. And some of those muscles are actually lifting your ribs as you breathe in, which is opening your chest, and then letting your ribs drop down again as you breathe out. You're drawing the air into you, and you're letting it go as you breathe out. So just notice that sense of letting go as you breathe out. Your body's letting go the air. You've also got a muscle underneath your ribs, which is called your diaphragm. It's a big kind of membrane, a big sheet of muscle underneath your ribs that is also pulling your lungs down from underneath and expanding the inside of your chest and sucking the air into you. And that's more difficult to feel, but you might feel it. So as you feel that expansion and contraction as you're breathing in and out, drawing the air in and letting go as you breathe out. You might notice that already your breathing has just naturally started to slow down a little. And if you find your breathing has slowed down a little, you might just breathe out a little slower than you're breathing in, so that you're breathing in and then slowly letting go the air as you breathe out. Breathing in and slowly letting go the air as you breathe out. Don't be trying to count anything or watch a clock or anything like that. There is absolutely no need to complicate things. Just think about smokers. Smokers always say, and maybe you're a smoker, smokers always say, well, yeah, I need to smoke because it helps me to relax. But when you watch a smoker, what they do, that's what they're doing, isn't it? They're breathing out slowly. And that is mostly what is actually relaxing them. It's just the slowing of the out breath as they breathe out the smoke. So that's the breathing, slowing the out breath. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is feeling. You've been feeling your breathing, feeling the air as it flows in and out of you. And now just start to feel your own body generally. And it's best to begin with the hands and feet. Just notice your hands and feet. I don't mean to look at them, just feel them. Notice where they're resting. They might be resting in your lap, they might be resting on your thighs or on the arms of a chair, if you're in an armchair, or wherever. And as you breathe out, as you let go the air as you breathe out, just feel the weight of your left hand and your left arm. Just feel it kind of pressing down. I don't mean pushing it down with an effort. I mean just feel the gravity, feel the weight of your hand as you breathe out. For a few breaths. Feel the weight of your hand and of your whole arm just resting there where you left it. You don't need to look at it. And then move your attention to the right arm and the right hand. And feel the weight of your right hand and your right arm as you breathe out. You might notice that the weight appears to be increasing, that your arms and hands feel heavier than before. And that's because the muscle tone that usually kind of holds them up a little, as it were, even though they're resting, that muscle tone is decreasing and becoming floppy, like a dead weight. And you can let that feeling gradually spread from your arms into your shoulders and the muscles of your neck. An awful lot of people keep a lot of tension in the muscles of the neck and shoulders, especially nowadays people that work in offices and are staring at a screen for long periods of time. From the neck, you can feel that good feeling, that sense of letting go, going up into the muscles in the back of your neck, up over your head, over your scalp, and down into the muscles of your face. That's another place that people keep a lot of tension, is in the facial muscles, because the facial muscles create expression. And if people are in a situation where we have to hide our expression, hide our feelings, keep a stiff upper lip, as they say, you can get a lot of tension in the muscles of the face. If you've ever had to really try not to cry for long periods, if you're in public or whatever, you find it can actually really create an aching feeling in the muscles of the face, in the cheek muscles on either side. So again, you can let go that tension as you're breathing out. And then just as you continue breathing in and out, with every breath as you breathe out, let that feeling of letting go just move down through your body, through the muscles of your chest. That's another place that people keep a lot of tension. People often think it's their actual heart that is feeling it, but it's not your heart. It's actually the muscles on top of the heart, which is the chest muscles, the pectoral muscles here. Another place is the stomach muscles. A lot of people keep a lot of tension there. And then finally down into the muscles of the legs and feet, just letting them feel their own weight. If your feet are on the floor, just feel the weight of your own legs and feet on the floor. As if you're wearing divers boots, those heavy lead boots that deep sea divers wear to keep them on the seabed. Now, as you are relaxing all these muscles, I just said the word, I said I wasn't going to say that word, didn't I? But as you're letting go the tension from all these muscles, what will actually happen with a bit of practice is that you'll also be letting go the tension from any internal muscles that are tending to spasm or cramp up. A lot of people get a problem with their digestion, and they get like stomach going into a knot, or their actual gut, their intestine, kind of clenching up like that. And with practice, you'll find that those muscles will also start to work more comfortably and easily. So that's the second thing, is the feeling. Okay, just feeling yourself letting go the tension as you're breathing out with every breath. And the third thing, and I'm going to keep it to 3 things because that's easy to remember. We've done breathing, feeling, and now finally looking. Now right now you're looking at me on a screen, probably. What you can do now instead is just choose one point that's in front of you that you can just stare at. So for me, I'm going to use that little blue light on top of the microphone, which I've got clipped on top of my screen where I'm recording this. And you might use any point at all. It doesn't need to be a light, although a reflection is often a nice one to look at, like a little reflected point of light. But you can take anything. You could just draw a cross on a white card, or a black spot on a white card. That would be absolutely fine. And just look at it without moving your eyes. Without moving your eyes at all. You can blink. It's not really a good idea to train yourself to go for long periods without blinking, because you are supposed to blink, and you don't want your eyes drying out. So you can blink from time to time, but just don't move your eyes. And that's why you want to choose a very small point to stare at, so that it's just that one little point that you're staring at as you're breathing in and breathing out. Now what you'll find is that if you chose something very simple, like say if you just chose like a black spot drawn on a white card, what you'll find is that you start to get, after a few minutes, you'll get a peculiar alteration of your vision. You'll find that there's like a grey, a pale grey image of the black spot will appear, and it might begin by being just to one side of the black spot, maybe just to the left or just to the right or above or below. But if you're really fixing your eyes, you can get that grey image to be directly on top of the black spot. It's actually a white image actually, but when you get it on top of the black spot, then the white and the black combines to grey. You can even get a funny sort of like a kind of a flashing effect as you are staring at that spot and at the second image of the spot that is on top of it, as it were. And you can get some quite interesting, strange effects, which are just the result of just staring at that one point continuously without moving your eyes. In fact, as I'm doing it, I'm seeing my own image on the screen. Kind of keeps on kind of flashing and going darker and lighter. Now, what's the point of this staring at a spot? It's not staring at the spot that actually does anything, but it's the state of mind that you find yourself going into, so that you can keep your eyes fixed on that one point. It just automatically gets you into that completely focused state of mind. I'm looking back at myself now on the screen, so that on the video I'll be looking at you. Yeah, that's the magic in it. Just staring at one point puts you into a very focused mind state. So breathing, feeling your body, staring at a point. That's just those three things that you can do. All at the same time, of course. If you practice this for about, I would suggest 5 minutes in the first instance. Do it 5 minutes every day. Don't try and do it any longer, because you find you just get distracted if you do that. So start small. You might even start with 2 minutes and then extend it 3, 4, 5, and then you might want to go on longer if you find that you enjoy it, if you find that you feel better for it, which I'm sure you will. And that is really it. I have people who have been to various therapists and they've taught them relaxation techniques, and they've made it so complicated with these special ways of counting or telling them to relax their toes to begin with. I mean, how can you relax your toes? Just making it complicated, and it's not complicated, it's actually simple. Animals with the brain only about that big know how to relax. Okay, so anyone who's capable of switching on a computer can certainly learn to do the three things that I've just been describing. So try it for yourself, see how you get on, practice it 5 minutes every day. Use a timer, because you don't want to be looking at the clock at the same time as you're doing, because that'll be like a fourth thing that you have to do, which is just again overcomplicating things. So just set a timer. Everybody's got a timer on their phone these days, haven't they? So just use a timer, and just practice for 2 to 5 minutes in the first instance, and take it from there. So I hope that's been interesting, and it will certainly be useful for you and beneficial if you actually try it for yourself. I'm Pete Luce Hypnotherapist. My website is phobiahelp.net, and there's a link to my other website from there as well. But phobiahelp.net is my main website, and you can find lots of other information about how the mind works and how the mind can function better, and how people can be happier and have nicer lives on that website. So for the time being, thanks for listening, and goodbye.